The nation watched as thousands gathered in Arizona for what was supposed to be a solemn memorial service. But instead of quiet reflection, the event became a political rally. Charlie Kirk, the conservative activist whose shocking murder sent tremors across the country, was praised not just as a man, but as a martyr. Draped in religious symbolism, with prayers echoing through the stadium, the memorial blurred the line between grief, politics, and faith. Donald Trump, accompanied by Vice President J.D. Vance, turned the stage into a campaign platform. His words were fiery. Kirk's death, he declared, was proof of an America under siege. The radical left, in Trump's telling, was not only corrupt but murderous. Supporters roared as he painted his political opponents as enemies of God and country. "They hate us, they hate you, and we will never forgive them," Trump thundered. The crowd erupted in chants, their candles flickering like torches of defiance. But behind the spectacle lay a deeper transformation. Kirk was elevated beyond politics, recast as a martyr in what conservatives described as a holy struggle. Religious leaders invoked biblical verses, drawing comparisons between Kirk's sacrifice and a larger divine mission. The memorial fused political loyalty with religious conviction, intensifying the rhetoric of Christian nationalism. Critics called it dangerous, a rally that sanctified political conflict as a holy war. News cameras captured every moment, Trump pointing forward with fierce expression, supporters holding up crosses and flags, while critics outside protested with signs, "Free speech, not vengeance." For many Americans watching, the scene felt less like a memorial and more like a declaration of battle lines. Stage 1 closes with a sobering realization: mourning has been weaponized. The death of Charlie Kirk, tragic on its own, has become the spark for something far larger, a movement that blends politics, religion, and rage into a single explosive force. If the memorial was the emotional stage, the days after revealed the political consequences. Trump and his allies wasted no time transforming grief into governance. Demands surged for new laws to curb so-called radical left agitators. Conservative voices pushed proposals for surveillance of activist groups, criminal penalties for online dissent, and limits on satire they deemed harmful. Democrats responded with alarm. Prominent lawmakers warned that Trump's America was drifting toward dictatorship. "This is not justice, it is revenge politics," one congresswoman declared. Reports surfaced that Trump was pressuring the Department of Justice to pursue investigations against political enemies. Anonymous insiders spoke of enemies lists, echoing some of history's darkest chapters. For Trump's supporters, however, this was strength. They cheered the promise of punishment. "Our heroes will not die in vain," declared one governor, echoing Trump's line. The narrative was simple. Kirk's blood demanded retribution. Critics saw this as authoritarian opportunism, using tragedy as a pretext to tighten control over institutions and silence dissent. International observers expressed concern. Human rights groups warned that if America criminalized political opposition, authoritarian regimes around the world would take it as permission to do the same. The image of the United States, once a beacon of free expression, now teetered under suspicion of censorship and abuse of power. Stage 2 paints a chilling picture. A president openly declaring hatred for his opponents, surrounded by cheering crowds, while critics whisper the word dictatorship. Whether exaggeration or prophecy, the warning is clear. America's democratic norms are under direct assault. Amid this firestorm, another crisis quietly grows. The federal government is days away from a shutdown. Negotiations in Congress have stalled. Democrats are demanding a meeting with Trump, but insiders say he is leveraging the chaos to strengthen his position. If the shutdown occurs, millions of Americans will feel the pain. Federal workers could go without pay, food assistance may halt, and healthcare programs face disruption. Yet in the halls of Congress, the fight is less about budgets and more about power. Republicans frame it as fiscal discipline. Democrats call it reckless hostage-taking. For Trump, the shutdown serves his narrative. He portrays Washington as broken, corrupt, incapable of protecting ordinary citizens. If the lights go out in federal offices, if families suffer, he will point to the dysfunction as proof that only he can fix the system. Critics warn that allowing government to collapse while amplifying authoritarian rhetoric is a dangerous combination. The image is stark. Lawmakers arguing under dim lights, papers scattered, while ordinary Americans stand outside shuttered offices, staring at signs reading, "Sorry, Shutdown." A mother clutches her child, a veteran holds his empty wallet, symbols of the real cost of political theater. Stage 3 reveals the convergence of crises. America is grieving, angry, divided, and now its government itself may cease to function. Chaos is no longer a backdrop, It has become the stage. If politics and governance are collapsing, culture is now on the front lines. The suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live, after his biting monologue mocking MAGA's response to Kirk's death, has ignited a firestorm. To conservatives, it was accountability. To liberals, it was censorship, proof that even comedians are no longer safe from political retaliation. Protests erupted outside studios. Signs in blue read "Free Speech Now," while red placards demanded "Protect Charlie." TV screens flashed with Trump condemning comedians as liars who poison the people. To his critics, the image was surreal, a president threatening entertainers over jokes. To his base, it was leadership. Democrats moved swiftly, introducing a bill to protect freedom of speech in media and entertainment. It has little chance of passing, but it sends a symbolic message. The battle for the First Amendment is now center stage. Meanwhile, conservatives doubled down, insisting that words kill and must be controlled. So here we are, a martyr elevated in death, a president stoking vengeance, a government stumbling toward shutdown, a comedian silenced. Each crisis is volatile. Together they form a perfect storm. The question is no longer about one man or one tragedy. It is about the identity of the United States itself. Is America still the land of the free, or is it slipping into something darker? Stage 4 closes with urgency. The fight for America's soul has never been fiercer. Breaking news is no longer just a headline. It is the reality of a country living on the edge.